Friends. 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 Hope everyone's having a good night. What's up, Golem? I'm doing well. How are you doing? There we go. Okay. So the stream title just popped up in the chat. Not bad, cool. I'm glad you're not bad. I got some important stuff to talk about here. Very important, very crucial. Make sure I'm sitting all the way up in the chair for this. So, I'm sure you saw the stream title, and you're here for the juicy deets, the juicy drama. First, we're gonna talk about the Baltimore Abortion Fund. So, you might have noticed, if you're not living under a rock, that reproductive rights have been, shall we say, under attack the last day or so. We got an individual who leaked the opinion on what is potentially a draft for repealing Roe v. Wade, specifically reference to Roe v. Casey. What this would essentially do is strip the federal protections for reproductive rights in the United States of America and leave those particular rights up to the whims of individual states in the United States of America, which will mean that states that already had pretty restrictive reproductive healthcare access, places like Texas, Mississippi, Oklahoma, probably Florida, these states will be pro-forced birth. Alabama as well, yes. These states will be forced birth states where there will be criminal penalties for getting an abortion, performing an abortion, even if you go out of state to do or get one, right? So with that said, there are going to be specific states that will be states who actually do provide these services, states who actually protect reproductive rights, states that do perform abortions legally and safely. Maryland is one of those states. We codified into law statutes, or rather, I'm not sure if that's the correct language to use, but I know for a fact that Maryland has statutes on the books dating back a few decades, couple of decades, that ensure the right to an abortion safely by a medical healthcare professional in the state of Maryland. And more recently, we have, there was a House of Representatives veto or rejection of a governor's veto of law that would essentially state that only licensed physicians would be able to perform abortions. So essentially, Maryland will be unique in a sense that not just licensed physicians, but like nurse practitioners, and so on and so forth will then be able to perform abortions. That said, hello in chat, everyone. Cats. Yes, states will be criminalizing miscarriages. Unfortunately, we've already seen that happening. Oh, what's up, Mowdy? What's up, Frackle? What's up, Fett? What's up, Phenomenal Idiot? I'm just, I like I've said, if you're watching this, I'm planning on doing a fundraiser stream for the Baltimore Abortion Fund. I would be interested to see. I would really love to see a lot of larger streamers contribute their audience and leverage their reach to get people to reach out to fund, even if it's not just Baltimore Abortion Fund. But I would implore a lot of these streamers with a wider reach to hold fundraiser streams and contribute to whatever abortion funds in their immediate vicinity exist. Because if Roe v. Wade gets repealed, if the right to reproductive services gets stripped in certain states, then the other states that actually have these protections will become much more important, and the organizations that perform and protect the people who need them and perform them will be severely underfunded. So Mowdy said, your state has one of those pre-Roe bans that don't get enforced. Not sure what to make of that. Yeah, it probably means that abortion is essentially banned in your state, which is it's safe to assume that if abortion is not directly protected by the state wherever you live, it's probably banned. So with that said, there are abortion funds around the country that need our help. This is the most immediately thing. Excuse me. This is the most immediate thing that we can do to help. And I would implore the larger streamers or streamers with much greater audiences than myself to take time out of their busy schedules with whatever it is that they're doing to support their abortion funds or support any abortion funds. You think 13 states have trigger laws on abortion that would go into effect immediately if Roe v. Wade is stricken down? Yeah, that's scary to me. But I want to talk to you about the Baltimore Abortion Fund. Like I said, Maryland is a state where abortion rights are protected. It's a service that can be provided sufficiently safely by many different people. And there is a support system in place to provide transportation and, lodging and such, so on and so forth, for people who need abortions and for people who receive abortions. Bridge Alliance is one you like to support. They're a network that seeks to provide discreet transportation and funding to people who need to get out of state service. That's awesome. I'm going to promote them as well. I'm just talking about Baltimore Abortion Fund now because I live in Maryland, and this is one of the, I fucking talk all the time about how I'm from Baltimore, and this is one of the local organizations that I support. So let's just read a little bit about the Baltimore Abortion Fund here. The Baltimore Abortion Fund is a mutual aid, grassroots, nonprofit organization that provides financial assistance. Thank you, Golem. Let me start over. The Baltimore Abortion Fund is a mutual aid, grassroots, nonprofit organization that provides financial assistance and practical support to people who live in or travel to Maryland for abortion care. We are part of the National Network of Abortion Funds, which consists of 70-plus independently operated funds across the country. We use an intersectional reproductive justice lens to dismantle white supremacy and remove systemic barriers people face when accessing abortion care. BAF operates a confidential helpline, 443-297-9893, where our case managers make financial commitments to help callers pay for their procedures, as well as provide information on how to access abortion care. BAF provides financial commitments to cover a portion of the caller's abortion care. Our case managers refer callers to area health clinics that provide reproductive health services. BAF provides practical support like transportation, accommodations, and translation services to remove barriers to abortion care. BAF actively works to reduce abortion stigma within Maryland and participates in the broader conversations in shaping local and statewide policy affecting our callers. Abortion funds ensure people have the resources they need to make decisions that are best for them and their family. Abortion funds are independent nonprofits. Abortion funds will partner with any National Abortion Federation provider. Oftentimes, these are independent abortion clinics. Independent abortion clinics provide care to 3 out of 5 people in the U.S. who have an abortion. Removing financial barriers is critical to protecting access to abortion care. And these are their values as an organization. These following values reflect how we want to be as an organization and the way we work with one another. These values can and will have overlap to the work we do as a direct service to communities. Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't English right there, but these are the values of the organization: collective power, balancing autonomy and collaboration, intersectionality, decision-making transparency, honoring humanity, and joy. You guys know I talk all the time about how based joy is, just in general. Black joy, trans joy, it's the one thing that they hate, right? They being the fascists. The following values reflect more about how we do the work of BAF: funding abortions, giving practical support, fundraising, community engagement, etc. These values may also overlap with how BAF operates internally as an organization. They're client-centered, they focus on reproductive autonomy and justice, and they see healthcare as a human right. Let's check this out really quick. Common theme 1, collective power, creating relationships of power with each other, not power over each other, creating systems and processes that enable us to come to group decisions so that we can speak with a credible and unified collective voice. So it's all about the community and democracy there. Common theme 2, balancing autonomy and collaboration. We respect and honor each other's contributions and work in a way that is responsive to the work and the values other people hold. We recognize that role clarity intentionally balances power and respects the unique wisdom of each person. We check in with people who would be directly impacted by our actions before we take them. So it seems very based so far, obviously. Intersectionality, we all know what that means. We understand that experience, insight, and impact are all different based on the various identities, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, immigration status, socioeconomic background, people with disabilities, etc. that we hold. We speak from our experiences, and we center folks with marginalized identities to ensure that our decisions and actions are creating a truly inclusive environment. So this is decision-making transparency. This is common theme number 4. We maintain a decision-making process in which everyone knows how decisions are getting made, who is making them, and how they can participate in decision-making processes. The information people need in order to participate in our organization is made accessible. Acknowledging the lives and circumstances of collaborators, this is under honoring humanity here, holding space for messiness, having reasonable expectations of one another, and understanding we are all balancing different things in order to show up for this work. While creating balance, we aim to be open and honest about our personal capacity and having reasonable expectations of one another while remaining accountable to BAF's overarching mission, values, and goals. And joy. Our work is public, positive, and relationship focused, which decreases stigma for abortion seekers and for us. Very based. Nothing we can disagree with here, I hope. So, the work is client-centered. Our work is fundamentally about serving abortion seekers. We listen closely to what they need. We do our best to create systems and processes that meet them where they are at. When a client is not met by our systems, we prioritize them over our systems to create an individualized response and may even take it as an indication that we need to reevaluate our systems. So they're saying they take every individual single case on a case-by-case basis, right? There is no one-size-fits-all. It's not a charity, right? It's mutual aid. So it's the community working together within their means, within their capabilities, to provide individually for each person to the point where if they find an extreme, it forces them to reevaluate the entire scope of their outreach because they want to be as accessible as possible. And that's exactly what they say in the next paragraph. We want our services and our advocacy to be truly accessible. This means listening closely to the people for whom we want to create access so that we can make processes that don't create barriers. In doing our work, we honor what abortion seekers may be going through and strive to be supportive both emotionally and logistically. And so the second to last theme is reproductive autonomy and justice. According to Sister Song, reproductive justice is the human right to maintain personal bodily autonomy, have children, not have children, and parent the children we have in safe and sustainable communities. People of color often face the highest barriers exercising this human right. Having the autonomy to decide and control contraceptive use, pregnancy, abortion, and childbearing is vital to reproductive justice. BAF acknowledges the ways that identity and one's position with oppressive systems create barriers to realizing reproductive autonomy. Reproductive justice uses this acknowledgement to remove these barriers and repair harm. We seek to disrupt systems, processes, and ideas that impede reproductive autonomy. BAF is committed to the creation of systems, processes, and ideas that repair harm to folks barred from reproductive autonomy and create and restore reproductive justice. And their last theme, the most important theme, well, not the most important, but arguably the most obvious ones. Healthcare is a human right. We believe that healthcare should be a human right, not a commodity accessible to only some. Abortion is healthcare. Abortion is healthcare. And just like the conversation I was having with Frackle the other night, just like with Food Not Bombs, the whole purpose of the Baltimore Abortion Fund is to make sure that they create a world where the Baltimore Abortion Fund is no longer necessary. You see it right here. BAF is committed to the creation of systems, processes, and ideas that repair harm to folks barred from reproductive autonomy and create and restore reproductive justice, right? And they're not a band-aid solution. Reproductive justice uses this acknowledgement to remove these barriers and repair harm, right? This country loves to violate the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction. Are you anti-abortion? Because, first of all, you're banned in 17 channels. But also, the language of the amendment that you specifically linked here speaks to persons. You're pro-abortion. Okay. That's weird to me. You're banned in 17 plus other fucking channels, but yeah, so like embryos are not people. An embryo is not a person. A clump of cells is not a person. Banned. I mean, Posadabot's usually on point, and Posadabot warned me that you're banned and you were talking about women. All right, I'm just letting you know you're in here skating on thin ice. I just want you to know that Posadabot has told me to move. The states are violating reproductive autonomy. That is, yeah. It doesn't matter if an embryo is a person or not, it's body autonomy. Yes, that's true. But what I was preemptively trying to do, I was assuming that this person was anti-abortion and implying that a fetus is protected by the 14th Amendment and that abortion is a violation of the 14th Amendment. I know you never argued this. This was just where my head went. You're actually willing to grant embryos personhood in that philosophical debate. It's irrelevant to the point about women getting to choose what to do with their bodily autonomy. I can see that. I'm not necessarily married to that position. I'm not married to any position on this because I would never personally need an abortion. So I feel like it's kind of speaking out of my lane. But I just want to do something because something is going to need to be done, right? And for all of the like marching and talking and voting, which is cool. If that's your thing, that's what you want to do it. But at the end of the day, stuff like this needs to be done. BAF is extremely based. Can abortions also be used for stem cell research? No. Well, I mean, yes, but conservatives are against that. Yeah. They don't want they when you talk about that, they literally think of like full grown like fucking like eighth trimester like babies whose birthday is only like 2 weeks away getting like ripped out of people and like ground. It gets really close into fucking like JQ territory where they think that people are grinding up babies for profit and for pleasure. GOP's next goal is pass a national abortion ban. Supreme Court is not the end goal. I would agree with that, and I also think that gay marriage is going to get rolled into this, or they're going to be emboldened to go after gay marriage. The mental gymnastics they pull is wild. It's only wild to us because we actually think about the things that we say and believe, and they don't. They just repeat the rhetoric. So we learned about the Baltimore Abortion Fund. Here's how to donate. For anyone who wants to know what this website is, it is literally just baltimoreabortionfund.org. I will be doing a fundraiser probably within the next couple of weeks, certainly within the next month. I am going to get in touch with some people or someone from BAF so that we can talk to them and, you know, get an idea of who those people actually are, what they actually do on the day-to-day. Like I said, I would strongly implore, especially people who are from Maryland, I would strongly implore that they share this link or spread the word about the Baltimore Abortion Fund if they don't do or participate in fundraisers themselves. I know streamers like Hassan, I think Tina 2 did a stream today. Lots of based content creators doing their part, doing what they can with their platforms. Merrick DeVille made a nice list, made a nice Google Doc for people in the Texas area for access to abortion funds and, you know, contraceptives and that sort of thing, right? So I would like to see action taken here. Direct action. We're streamers. No matter what, Maddie Cakes would also be a good streamer to get involved in this. Yes, absolutely. I want to get the people that I would love to have on, the people I've talked about it so far with. I've talked about it with Seaweed. I've talked about it with Bink, obviously. Well, we're in the Discord together. I've floated in there specifically because I want to get people like Merrick, Maddie Cakes, right? I want to get people that are knowledgeable about, you know, women's issues and stuff in on this, in terms of like people to speak to. But I would like larger, like people that, and this is what I was getting to before you mentioned that, which is that if we're all doing this politics shit, right? Politics is not just entertainment. It has real world consequences, life and death consequences. And this is one of those things where we have an opportunity to do something here. We all have platforms. We all have the fucking bully pulpit, right? We all have the ability to whip our fucking audiences up to take action to do a thing, whether that's to fucking harass other streamers, beg people to debate other streamers, whatever. We all have the capacity to utilize our platforms in the service of something political. And I want to see streamers posting links to abortion funds, doing fundraisers for abortion funds. This is what I want to see. This is the hope that I have for Twitch politics, Twitch debate, whatever it is, right? No LARP shit, no bullshit. This is serious shit. This is historical shit that we're watching happen in real time, and we all have a role to play in this. We all have a position that we can fill. Just like with anything. Just like with any issue. Right? And just like with food insecurity here, there are organizations that exist specifically to meet the material needs of individuals within the community. And they need visibility and financial support. Those are the two things that we can excel at here. Right? We can signal boost and we can fundraise. That's what we can do, sitting right in this seat in front of this camera, in front of our audiences. Right? So why not do that? Especially when we're already doing that in service to ourselves anyway. We're all trying to boost our brand, hit a subscriber goal, all that goofy shit, right? So why not take one fucking day or whatever to do something based? We love to have these little tokens and trinkets of, look at this stuff that I did that makes all this other weirdo shit that I did okay, because I am actually an advocate for marginalized groups, right? Here's your opportunity to put up or shut up, right? Find out your closest abortion fund, signal boost them, and make sure they get funded. Because the number one thing that needs to happen now is that these abortion funds need to get monthly income now. We're going to have to give them and send them money every month to make sure that people can have at least some fucking semblance of access to reproductive health care. And that's all I got for this stream. If you were here for drama, surprise, surprise, you got clickbaited. If you care about any of the streamers that I listed in the title, ask them to support to an abortion fund. Especially if they're in Maryland, you should tell them to support Baltimore Abortion Fund. And that's all the time I got for tonight anyway. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the normal time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I'm probably going to talk about this some more. Going to do some stuff behind the scenes and try to work out a date and, event schedule for the fundraiser stream for Baltimore Abortion Fund. I'm going to do my part. I know you guys are going to do your part because you always do. And I love you guys for it. You guys are an amazing fucking community. You guys are pretty much exactly what I would have asked for when I started streaming all those years ago and decided to keep continuing to do this shit, even though I was sometimes streaming for 2 fucking people. Absolutely, Fraggle. I know you're just based, dog. I don't know what else to say about you other than that. You've been a fucking comrade. But 07 to all y'all. I'm gonna figure out who to raid to. 07 to all y'all. Whoops. Who's live right now? Fade Runner's live. We're gonna raid into Fade Runner. Support my boy Fade. I don't know how I spelled his name wrong, but all right. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are bugging out, but if not, stick around. We're going to raid my best friend Fade, see what he's got going on.